looking at you.
You can look at the camera, you can look outside.
Okay.
Just take a look around. So hey guys, welcome to another edition of Cruisin' with Zach. We have a very special guest with us today. He was voted to the Philly Broadcasters Hall of Fame. Voted by Talkers.com top 100 most important radio shows in the nation. WPG 1040's Hurley in the Morning show host, Harry Hurley. Harry,
104.1 FM.
104.1 FM.
Always got to get the call letters and the frequency right, but we're also
the 0.1.
And while we're at it, 104.1 FM.
Okay.
We're at 1450 AM legacy stations, been around almost 100 years, based out of Atlantic City. The call letters themselves, WPG, are on that beautiful stained glass Boardwalk Hall inside the convention hall. You know,
we were just there for Disney on Ice.
Did you see the WPG up in the Globe?
I did not.
The stained glass is straight over the stage. Understood. So very thrilled about the call letters. We're also now at 97.3 FM HD3. HD radio is more and more, coming with new cars and things. They all have the HD radio. And then, of course, on our app, on the smartphones, WPG app, and at WPGTalkRadio.com. I think what we're getting at on Cruisin' with Zach show is that it's more than a radio station. It's a digital media company.
Well, yeah, you got to be on different platforms.
Exactly.
So one thing that people may or may not know, you have an identical twin brother. Is that correct?
I do, and he's usually armed and dangerous.
So how do I know that I'm talking to the real Harry Hurley right now?
You don't. You have to trust me.
Okay.
I am the truth in broadcasting. So if I say I am Harry Hurley on Cruisin' with Zach, you can trust me.
Okay. So correct me if I'm wrong. Hurley in the Morning started in 1991?
1992.
1992, all right.
July 1st, 1992.
So to give you some perspective, I was 5 years old at the time.
There you go.
But for people who have not tuned into your show, what does your show bring to the table, and what do you hope that your listeners leave the show with?
I love the question, Zach. What I think we bring is the most unique radio program, talk radio program in the market, and I think that's the reason we've been able to endure for the past 27 years. Very few programs have that amount of longevity. It's an industry that usually churns out people.
There's a lot of turnover.
Yeah, in very, very short order. What we do, we break news. Very, very well known for breaking news. I love to break news. More importantly than breaking news is breaking news and getting it right. So I'm very, very big. Sometimes I'm not first, because if I don't have it nailed down, it's not like Conspiracy with Mel Gibson and you have a file cabinet with 1,000 crazy conspiracy theories and one of them may be true.
And the lock on the coffee machine.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. And on the refrigerator, because somebody might poison you. So we love to break news. We also love to serve our community. One of the most beautiful things, I think, in our career in the media in New Jersey's metro market is the Hurling in the Morning charity. 10 years ago, we formalized it, registered it with the federal government, with the state of New Jersey, and we have raised over $750,000 in the past decade. And we write grants literally every year, tens of thousands of dollars worth of grants. One of the neat things, and it was important, we came of age during the Great Recession.
Okay.
So nobody was starting up then. That was tough,
right.
But we were very fortunate. Our brand was strong. Our mission was clear. We wanted to help area, New Jersey, South Jersey, metro market, not-for-profits. And our charity has actually made it possible for an employee to not lose their job, because we wrote a $12,000 grant and we saved that employee's job. They were going to be laid off. And we've written anything from a couple of $100 grant to $100,000 cumulative with some of the other charities that we've supported. So we feel that part of the responsibility of a good radio broadcaster and a good media company like Town Square Media, my employer, is giving back to the community.
Well, that's why I wanted to have you on as well. We're driving around, the weather's warmer. It's almost golf season.
Yep.
You're going to have your 11th Hurley in the Morning golf charity, correct? Tell us about that.
Zach, every third Friday in June, so this year it will be Friday, June 15th at Harbor Pines Golf Club in Egg Harbor Township. We have an amazing charity golf tournament. We're very blessed. It's a sellout every year. We sell foursomes, we sell hole sponsorships, we have a nice silent auction, and we do everything we can to drive as many tens of thousands of dollars each year to our bottom line so that we can write the grants to the good people that need them.
I hope to be there, but I might have my schedule booked up. I have a baby coming in the middle of June.
That's understandable.
So, but if not, I'll be there.
That would be great. It'd be great to have you.
So 27 years plus with Hurley in the Morning. Off the top of your head, who is one person that you interviewed that had you shaking in your boots?
I'll tell you, the interview that got away, President Bill Clinton literally requested to do my show when he was in office. Now, this was right around the time of Monica Lewinsky and all the crazy scandals that were going on in his deposition and all these different things. And unfortunately, the day of our interview, the president ordered a strike in Iraq. He bombed another nation, and our interview was unfortunately postponed and then never rescheduled. That's the one that got away.
That was your white whale.
I would have loved it, because there's something about, I've interviewed VP nominees and presidential nominees. It would have been neat to actually interview the incumbent president of the United States right here in New Jersey's metro market. So it's not really a question of shaking in your boots, but there's interviews that you do that, if they're going to be controversial, sometimes Hurley in the Morning is called a controversial radio program, which I never really understood, because to me, everything we do is transparent. I don't think there's anything that we're doing that's a surprise to anyone. My audience, after almost 3 decades, pretty much knows my philosophy. I can fool people once in a while where they might think I would go this way, and instead I, fake that way on a different issue or two. But pretty much what we do is not controversial in my view, but sometimes people say that it is. I'll tell you a fun interview. Yeah. One of my, I think, most enjoyable interviews ever. I forget the year. He was still the host of The Tonight Show, Jay Leno.
He came on the show?
Came on the show. It was delightful. Absolutely delightful.
How big is his chin?
Well, he was on the phone.
Oh, okay. Phone interview.
But I've been at his show before, and the chin is large.
Large and in charge.
Yes, it is. It's spectacular, actually. But there's a guy that's a really hardworking guy. He's fun. He doesn't take himself, I'm not even going to say too seriously. He doesn't take himself seriously.
He's a real blue-collar guy.
He's a great guy. Loves cars. We just had the greatest time. I had heard, and I know it's true, but he would not cop to it, that his show prep was legendary. Meetings with staff and really working, doing the work in order to make a great show. And his show was great. Yeah. It was in a different era. It was when comedians were actually funny and didn't turn into political, creatures. They're really destroying their brand. But that was really that was a pinch me thing, because I consider him solid A-list, and a major get. And he was going to be performing in Atlantic City, and he had something going on, and we had about 15 minutes uninterrupted.
That's some quality airtime.
And I loved it. It's not like doing Cruisin' with Zach. Don't get me wrong.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
But it was nice.
So speaking about shaking in your boots, we're going to be hitting up the lightning round right now. You ready for that?
I'm ready.
Okay. So if you were at a food eating contest, you could eat one food and win, what would you eat?
Ooh, and win.
You have to win it.
Lobster tail.
Wow, going big. An expensive food eating contest. Okay, if you had to go back in time and tell yourself something when you were 16, what would you tell yourself?
When you turn about 30 years old, don't take on the most powerful state senator in Atlantic County history, because your life could be a whole lot easier if you didn't do that.
Okay, but look at you now.
I lived. I survived.
You lived to tell the tale.
Yeah, not many did. If you take on, when you dare speak truth to power, especially, you have to think about how things were almost 3 decades ago. Nobody did what I did. Nobody. They were shaking in their boots, to use your quote. Okay. They were afraid, because people would actually say things like, hits are coming, and they'd come after you. They'll come after everything in your life. It was very, very. I mean, I'm just thinking about it now. It seems like a lifetime ago, and it's forgotten. And me and the subject that were at such war long ago made up and have a great relationship. But it was It was vicious. It was protracted.
Listen, don't tie me into this.
No, you did. You were held harmless.
Okay,
you were alive.
I don't want to wake up with a horse head on my bed.
You were in Ventnor Elementary School at the time.
That's right.
With maybe Bill Gussie as your principal.
He was my principal.
Yeah, that's why I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm on with Cruisin with Zach.
Listen, we got one more lightning round question.
That would be one I'd like to call back.
Okay. Final question. If you could bring back someone from the dead and have dinner with them, who would it be?
My father. He was the greatest man I've ever known. He named my program, and he didn't even know it. I was a young writer for the Press of Atlantic City, and they were giving me my own column, believe it or not. I was 19 years old, one of the youngest, they told me youngest staff writers in America to have my own byline as a staff writer. And I was very, very fortunate at a young age to get the chance. I started Copy Boy, and then I was able to write stuff without my name on it. Then they let me write stuff with my name on it, but it didn't say staff writer. Then they gave me the full byline. So I was getting my own column. And my father said to me, "Son, you got to name it Hurley in the Morning." I said, "Oh, Dad." I said, "That's so corny." I said, please don't make me do that. Please don't make me do that. You know, that's the way I had reverence for my father.
Right.
So I would never want to disappoint him or disobey him. So I was like, "Please don't make me do that, Dad." Well, I took a nice job in the casino industry and left. I had a whole career in the casino industry that we didn't get a chance to talk about that I cherish still. And it was such a great proving ground for me from age 20 to 30 before I started my broadcasting career. But I just didn't get the column. Knowing myself and how I wouldn't want to disappoint my dad, I would have called it Hurley in the Morning. Then they have your picture with it and your name.
Right.
And I would have thought it was the cheesiest thing ever. Who would have known that about a decade later that I would get this shot with no experience to do a radio program?
People like cheese.
Yeah, and I got to honor my father. But the funny thing is, it wasn't cheese. There was a very famous writer in Philadelphia where my father had lived a portion of his life before he moved to the Atlantic City Ventnor area. So we always lived here, but he lived in Philly for a good while. And there was this guy had a column, Hurley in the Morning. It was corny because I was 19.
Right.
When I was 30, it was cool. And really, it's memorable. It works in terms of Hurley in the Morning.
Yeah.
And it's just, so my father... Basically,
when you
10
do the
years,
weather, the Hurley morning showers.
I do Hurley morning shout outs. I tell people Hurley. I do it all the time. Hurley, this morning it will be rainy, and then it will clear. But my father named the Hurley in the Morning program 10 years after he passed away. And I love that. He's the one I would pick.
Well, I'm glad you can take that with you.
Yeah.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, he named it.
Well, Harry, thank you so much for being on the show. I hope you had as much fun as I did.
Zach, I loved it. I've been looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, if the baby is still, not here yet, I can come to that golf outing. When is it again?
Friday, June 15th, 8 a.m. breakfast registration hour, 9 a.m. shotgun start.
Perfect.
I am Cruisin' with Zach. My name is Harry Hurley. I'm the host of Hurley in the Morning on Town Square Media. 6 to 10 a.m. weekday mornings on 104.1 FM, 1450 AM, 97.3 FM HD3, and of course everywhere on our WPG app and at WPGTalkRadio.com. Zach, honor to be on your show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
See you guys.
See ya.